Good morning to you.
Good morning, Victor.
So this week, you wrote that, and let me quote you here, that hell broke loose when you said that you found Judge Amy Coney Barrett to be likable, but you would not confirm to vote her. Explain what happened and why you wouldn't vote to confirm.
Well, I heard it in a little bit one of your earlier segments where you were talking about this factor that the Senate had brought up, how much she was a mom and how many times, and that's the likability factor. And what I was saying on my Twitter feed was to my followers, I might not vote for this judge. Her philosophy might not be mine. However, she's likable. She's very likable. And that's what they want, because when women are powerful, Victor, whether it's Kamala Harris or whether it's Hillary Clinton, who wasn't likable, and that came up time and time again, it can backfire on us. So if we're likable, we're palatable, it often works in our favor.
So when you heard that reference to her family over and over, and let's put up the numbers here for our viewers. This is the New York Times analysis. They analyzed son, daughter, wife, husband, all the mentions of family. And these are the recent nominees who had children, minor children under the age of 18. 68 references for Barrett. Now, yes, she has 7 children, but Scalia had 9 children under 18 at the time of his confirmation. We had 9 children, some were under 18, and only about 16 references here. And you heard that, and it was endearing. And some others might wonder, well, they didn't ask the men that question. Why are they asking her about her children and talking about family so often?
Well, come on, we know the answer to that. There's a double standard still. Yes, it's 2020, and yes, we've come a long way. However, we still have a long way to go. Look at the way Kamala Harris is talked about still. Look at the disrespect even Senate colleagues don't want to pronounce her name right. To make Judge Barrett, who is a federal judge, she's going to fill the seat of a beloved justice in Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And by the way, guys, she is going to fill the seat. They have the votes. And so what I was saying to folks is, you're kind of going to have to get yourself comfortable with this. The game that they're playing is, and by that I mean the Republicans on the Senate committee, is she's this wonderful mom. She's got 2 black children that she's adopted. She's a great lady. And it plays also really well with their base, Victor, as they have a severe gender gap right now going into this election.
Let's look at this exchange from Senator Ted Cruz. Now, on, I believe it was Tuesday, Senator Cruz went on a 26-minute monologue, didn't ask the judge to respond to anything, and then he asked her 4 or 5 questions. Here's what he asked Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
Judge Barrett, do you speak any foreign languages? How about music? Do you play any instruments? For you and your husband, you've got 7 kids. How did y'all manage through the lockdowns and distance learning? What was that like in the Barrett household? What led you and your husband to make the decision to adopt? It's I think, one of the most loving and compassionate decisions any family can make. So your children have been wonderfully well behaved. I think you're an amazing role model for little girls. What advice would you give little girls?
No question about jurisprudence. Your children are well behaved. What can you tell the girls of this nation? Let me move on because I got other things and not a whole lot of time. You say that the media only likes women when they are liberal. What supports that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go through and you're citing my piece in the Daily Beast, which folks can read, and what I talked about, I went through like the most beloved women in the United States every year, the most popular, the most admired. If you looked at 10 women, Victor, 9 out of 10 are going to be what you call liberal, political, democratic women. Again, like a Michelle Obama or a Hillary Clinton or a Kamala Harris or, whoever happens to be in the public view at that point. You get very few conservative women. But I also think back to your point about this notion of likability and the kind of questions that senators like Ted Cruz asked the judge. Again, they're playing to their base. You wonder why the Republican Party has a gender gap? Ted Cruz showed you why they have a gender gap. They don't know how to talk to women. They don't know how to engage women. They're still in some Neanderthal kind of world that is stuck in some place that the rest of us don't understand. And so that's what the genesis of those questions was. But on the likability factor, if we're all telling the truth, the icons in our country right now are more liberal Democratic women. They just are.
so
Nancy Pelosi, et cetera.
Let me ask you this, then. Doesn't the latter point challenge the former point? And you suggest that the media only likes women when they are liberal, but if Republican senators don't know how to talk to women, and let's look at this. There have been more Democratic women elected to the Senate in the last 50 years than Republicans, elected to the House, elected governors, 3 women on national tickets, 1 in Sarah Palin in 2008. Is it less a reflection of the media and more reflection of the electorate's disapproval of the Republicans' platform and how the Republican Party elevates or does not elevate women?
I think it's both and, not either or. For example, in this cycle, more Republican women are running than ever before for Congress, both House and Senate. Many of them will not win because they're in districts where they can't win, Victor. But your point is well taken. My point is we don't hold up conservative women, and Judge Barrett, I think, is someone worthy of being held up, even if I disagree with her judicial philosophy or some of the way she approaches jurisprudence.
Sophia Nelson, thank you so much for waking up and speaking with me this morning.
My pleasure.
I'm going to tweet out the piece because I think it's fantastic.
Take care, Victor.
All right,
Bye-bye.
you too. Christi?
So still ahead, there is uncertainty, there is anxiety.